finally having a safe place, a place where all the parts of me felt safe enough to start talking, I found it stirred up a whole lot of emotions. It brought things forward more. So little by little, the different parts were trusting Leah and sharing with her, just trying to share feelings. I still wasn't ready to hear everything that was going on. But with that came, I just felt like me being aware that they were showing up more often. Maybe they always did and I didn't know it. I'm not sure. I just know at one point in time, I drove up over the sidewalk. I think one of the little ones was driving. I really do, honestly. And yes, I told Leah, and she's made a verbal contract with me and all of the parts, and just said, no children are allowed to drive. You have to be an adult to drive. So no more driving over sidewalks for me. The other thing that happened was just all these feelings just came bombarded in my brain. And I know the biggest one was, I want to die. And now I had said that before and people would yell at me, you can't say that, you can't say that, you can't die. And it's not like I was going to do anything about it. And when I talked to Leah about it, she goes, you just want the pain to stop. And I'm like, exactly. I just want the pain to stop. That's exactly what I mean. And so she allowed me to say those words, I want to die. Because that just was me saying, I want to be out of pain. I want the pain to stop. But she did make a verbal contract. I was not allowed to actually hurt myself in any way. If so, I would need to tell her, me or another part needed to tell her, I am going to hurt myself and this is what I'm going to do. Like literally, we had a verbal contract and we stuck to it. Like it was our own man-made law, as you could say, and it worked, and I honored that. And so we were still building relationship and building trust at the same time that I was having fun. Now here's the other thing that happened. Because of the experience I had at the other church and them going over my boundaries, and just prayer just freaked the little ones on the inside out so bad. Going to church was really hard. Like, I wanted to go. I knew the good God lived there somewhere. If I could sort him out between all of the other mess that I had gone through. And so, literally, when I would drive to church, I would get probably about 2 blocks away and I would just freeze on the inside. And they say that, I was scared spitless, and you think that's just a saying. Let me tell you, it's more than just a saying. It literally is a real thing. Because I would get nauseous and sick, and I would put Mentos in my mouth, peppermint Mentos, because they would help. And I literally was so scared going to church that the peppermint Mentos did not dissolve. Like, there was no saliva in my mouth whatsoever. Like, I was spitless. I was so terrified. And I went anyway, and I would sit in the back. And the more that Leah would talk to the parts, the more anxious and nervous I became. And literally, I would just sit back there and cry. Like, we're not talking just tears. I mean, I was as quiet as best I could, but it was hard. And all these sweet ladies in the church wanted to come and hug me and be with me and pray with me. And I did not trust anybody at that time, except for the few people that were in my artist ministry group. And what was really sweet, Karen and her husband, they were so precious. Like, if I was having a hard time after church and I was waiting for Leah to pray for me, they would come back and sit by me, and her husband would sit a few chairs over, and he would just slide a box of Kleenex over to me. It was the sweetest thing. And he would sit there, and when all of the other ladies would try to come and help me, he would go, she's good, just leave her. And he became like a little protector of me, and it was just really, really sweet. Looking back over that all these years later, it's just something that I hold in my heart. And yeah, it was a really sweet thing.